What is up, guys? We are here in the beautiful Braille House 2.0. I am Ricky Gloza and I'm here with Globe. And today we're going to teach you my absolute favorite trick, backside crooked grind.
We know you guys been dropping in the comments below. It's one of both of our favorite tricks out there. So we're going to drop some knowledge on how to crooked grind today. Not only with the finest Big Rick.
So I'm really excited for this one. So I guess let's just get straight into it. Maybe we'll teach them about the tricks that you should know before you learn how to crooked grind. So I think you definitely want to get comfortable doing some kinds of board slides and grinds already before. So let's say you want to know how to board slide. Let's say you want to know how to 50-50 grind a ledge, probably front side and back side, just so you're feeling quite good and comfortable with the whole process of grinding. I probably would say you want to learn how to nose slide too, as well as maybe even a 5-0, just so you get used to this, like we're grinding on the nose or we're olling into a grind and not landing stable in 50-50. We're like locking into a different point and having a lot of weight on that one point. So I think, you don't necessarily have to be able to 5-0 to crooked grind, but I think having those skills will make this trick a lot easier. What do you think, Glo?
I think those are, get your back 50s down, maybe even some backboard slides because your body's turning all which way. Back 50, nose slide. Once you got those pretty confident, it should be on to the next trick, crooked grind. That's it's not one of them. It's like, I learned how to crook before I learned how to 5-0.
Oh, really?
Did you?
Honestly, it's hard for me to remember. I think I learned 5-0 first.
5-0?
Yeah.
I used to just always slip out on front 5-0s and somehow not slip out on crooks because it would like just stop. I would stop myself from dying, you know what I mean?
I think I learned back 5-0 first. I learned back 50 first, that's for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the first one for me too. Back 50 on a curb outside my house. Shout out the curbs, all the curbs out everywhere around the world. You could learn something on those.
All right, so I guess let's break down exactly what is happening when you do a crooked grind. So the deal with a crooked grind is you approach backside. So like what we're saying, very similar to a backside 50-50. You roll up to the ledge, then you pop, then you clear enough to get onto the ledge, and now you position your front truck onto the ledge at a slight angle. So we're slightly halfway between a 50-50, halfway between a board slide, and then we're putting all of our weight onto the front truck and what we call locking it in. So we're locking the wheels and the tail all the way down to touching the ledge, so it's not balancing anymore. It's really locking in. And there's some finesse with this. People like to call it a pinch, where you can really bend into the wheel so that your truck wheel bushings are bending all the way in, so it's very secure. But we don't need to worry about that too much now. We just need to worry that all our weight is in the crooked grind and we are feeling stable. Then we grind along. Enjoy our grind. We've made it into the grind. We have some fun grinding, and then we're gonna get out of the crooked grind. So right now our obstacle ends, and then we get out. But there's a few other ways you can get out. You can practice popping out. 180ing out can sometimes be easier, but for right now we're just gonna talk about the ledge ending, and we smooth on out there.
One of the main tips on crooked grind on how to find the pinch is aiming for your inside wheel. You always want to lock in on the wheel. As you can see, you can't really tell, but you can see the crooked grind marks. You just get in, you aim for the wheel that's your closest to the ledge. So you only aim for the wheel. Boom. That wheel, I don't know what it is about this wheel. It secures the spot and you feel safe when you get on that wheel. Sometimes you'll get on crook, you might be over here, you might be in the middle of your truck, you're in a fill. It's gonna feel way different from being locked in on the wheel. It's crazy. A lot of people see that, but once you get locked on the wheel, it's a different story for the crooked grind. You think the wheel's one of the best keys? I think that's the main thing I focus on when I try crooks, is aiming for the wheel. Just locking in on the pinch right here, and it'll go. I promise you, if you aim and you get that right pinch in the wheel, you are gonna slide. It doesn't even need wax. You'll go a little bit all off the wheel.
Absolutely. And that's what's interesting about this trick, is the more and more that you do it, you know, you're on top of your board, right? So you can't see what's happening under your board. But the more you get used to oling into these kind of grinds, you can really get a sense of exactly where you're going to position it, and you have this really good sense of what is going to contact the ledge. So if you keep practicing, you can really just, you know, you have to ollie over a gap into the crook grind, you'll still get it perfectly in, because it just becomes this muscle memory and this instincts of what is going to connect when you get used to doing this trick. So let's go through the practice steps. What I would recommend for this is just get comfortable being in the position of a crook. So what I would say is put your board on the edge of a ledge, stand on the ledge, and then you can just push up, lock it up into a crook, and just get used to the feeling of standing there and seeing what it would be like, seeing what the balance point is like, seeing how it feels to lock that down and not be loose in a manual. And you could even go back to 50-50 if you wanted to. So you can just go from 50-50 crook, just stay in there, maybe go back to 50-50 or just jump off. But we just want to really get that feeling of being into it. Then once you've got that dialed, the next thing I would recommend is go to the smallest thing you could ever possibly find, probably a curb, but you could go to like a little ledge or the side of a stair or literally just anything. Go in really slow and then ollie in to crook. And before this, what I would do, definitely ollie into no slide. Get used to ollieing into no slide. Just ollie into crook stall and just see if you can just do this stall. So you've now figured out how to ollie in, how to land into it. And then once you can do that, honestly, it comes down to putting all the pieces together. So you know how to board slide, you know how to 50-50, you know how to crook stall, then you're ready to try. So now let's go through some troubleshooting of what things might happen when you try. What do you think, Blair? You want to take?
There's a few things that could go wrong with crook. I'm not gonna lie to you, but you'll be safe because look, me and Ricky are here standing. We got one of the greatest crooked grind people in the planet, Ricky Glaza. You got me. I'm still surviving. I done fell a few times off the crook. There's a few things that could go wrong. One is you missed the pinch. You go to back nose grind, you'll survive that one. You tend to your body will naturally tell itself what it's doing. That one you don't really got to watch out for. This is the one. When you're gonna do a crook, be 100% within yourself that you are gonna do a crook. Trust me when I say this, cause this is what could happen. Some people tend to get a little lazy with it, turn their swag on or whatever you want to call it, drip. They pop, they get all lazy with it, and they just think it's an easy one, and they go, woo! And they launch out, and it is not a pretty sight. I've been there, and trust me, I've never underestimated a crooked grind ever again. So I'm telling you this with experience. You're going to do the crooked grind, 100% believe in yourself, aim for the wheel, and trust me, the more you aim, the more you'll try to get into that perfect position where you could just crook and nice and slide. You don't want to go over the top. It's okay. Sometimes when you crook, also, this is another one. You're in crook. This is a good sign. You go crook, and then you go to nose slide, and you start nose sliding. You are on the right path of crooked grind. Don't get discouraged. I promise you. You just got to pop it a little more. Maybe balance yourself a little, lean back a little more so you get a little leverage into the crooked grind so you could just boss it out like Big Rick and how we're going to show you. Be nice and smooth. Bam.
Absolutely. One other thing I think that can go wrong is when you're ollieing into the crook and shifting your weight up onto this nose position, sometimes your foot will become a little bit further on the tail and then maybe you'll make contact with the ledge and then it will cause you to grip. That's another thing that you can watch out for. But it just comes with time that you get used to this ollieing and shifting your weight onto the nose. And just like you practiced on the curb or the one step, you'll get your foot in that right position, not over the edge, not touching the ledge, and then get that smooth grind. If it is touching the ledge, you just gotta just consciously be like, okay, my foot's going too much off. I just want to keep it a little bit more on and just try to get that slide.
Your mental will tell you. Your body will help you because your body will always help.
Exactly. And another thing is you could slip out, you could be leaning too far back, and then when you get it, you shoot a little bit out. But those bails tend to be pretty good. You just can generally land on your feet and you get used to the feeling of like, all right, I just need to lean a little bit more forward. I don't want to be leaning too far back. But yeah, crook grind is a really fun trick. I personally like it so much because it's a cool trick. It's not just a 50-50 where your board is fully stable. I like a crook how it's this unique position But once you get them dialed, you can really hold it. So you can really do long crooks. You can do them on rails where you just small connection to the rail and just go for a really long time. So like I personally really enjoy doing crook grinds, and I think you are gonna have fun learning how to crook grind.
It's crazy from when you lock in on this wheel, how much it could do for you, how much security you have with your balance of everything. It's nuts. I'm telling you, once you get into it, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel like, dang, I'm really in that wheel. Like, that's really a pinch. It's gonna change your life. Because when I learned how to crook, wow, I'm thinking back on it. It was a good time. I can't wait to see you guys drop it in the Braille Army app that you learned how to crook from. I'm not saying you learned from me or Ricky, but let's just see your crooked grinds in the app. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So one of my favorite crooks of all time, it was Mikey Taylor. Back in the early 2000s, he had the really nice DVS video parts, and I remember he does one to start his part, and then he does another one on this long, mellow handrail. And like that was kind of around the time where skating long, mellow handrails was just beginning, I think. And I was like, dang, like crook on that, like that is so sick. And like, that's definitely one of the things that made me want to do long crooks and crook on rails like that.
One of my favorite crooked grinds is got to be Leo Romero. Leo Romero has one of the, you can't say nothing wrong about Leo, but Leo has one of the craziest crooks. You could just go in one of his stay gold parts. There's a gap to rail. I think it's like a 10 to like a flat to 6. And Leo comes flying through the hallway, always, and he goes straight for the wheel. I swear, flying straight to the wheel. Crook pops out, lands it. Leo, legend. Shout out Leo Romero. You inspired me to do a lot of tricks growing up. Can't wait to meet you one day. One of the most craziest tricks out there. It's one of the best feeling tricks, no lie. I could still do a crook on a ledge, and I don't gotta say it, but I could feel it like, wow, that one felt good. And it's just, I've done them a million times and they still feel good every time. You get that same feeling with crook?
100%. That's the only trick I could ever do with crook. I think everything would be okay.
Crooked grind makes the world spin around better.
Yeah. Another thing we can talk about, guys, is expanding on the crook. So you can do tricks into the crook, tricks out, shoves in, shoves out. But another thing when you're starting out is you can learn how to pop out of the crook. So when you're skating a ledge that doesn't have an end, you don't want to be like, oh, I can't crook grind this because it doesn't end. But you can actually, the easiest way to get out of those ones is to just do kind of like a nollie 180. You just basically turn nollie 180 and you kind of just fall off. But another way, once you get a little more comfortable, is you can pop out. So you can kind of use this lever point of having the wheel pressed so tightly here to actually do a little bit of a nollie out. That was one I had been crooking for a long time before I actually figured out how to pop out in the middle of the ledge. For me, it was quite difficult to achieve that one. But it really just comes with time, and it comes with being more comfortable on your board and just having the authority of like, okay, now this is where my leverage point is. So with those ones, it just really takes practice. Like, there's not too much, just no secret trick to doing it. It's really just, you just got to keep trying and keep pushing, and then you'll see where the exact level point is and how to finesse it out.
It's kind of like one of those like groove things. Like, you know, when you see a little bump in the ground and you nollie over it and you just like give it that little nudge, like, that's what it is. You'll get it when you get into it. You'll feel it. You'll want to give it a little nudge out, and that nudge can get you a long way. It could teach you how to nollie flip out. You could do it all kinds of different ways, honestly. It's one of the best feelings about the crook. You could do it from all different variations. You could fakie 180 into it. You could nollie to crook. You could fakie to crook. They work every single way. So it's like one of the coolest tricks out there, honestly. Once you learn it, that's a good trick to have in the bag.
Absolutely. All right, guys, so we are stoked to be out here teaching you how to crook. We both love this trick so deeply that we hope you've got something out of this video. We want more crooks in the world because we love this trick so much, and it is awesome to see people learning it, see people doing it, doing all these cool variations. So please get out there, have some fun with the crook. If we helped you learn crook, let us know in the comments. Send us a video on Instagram. We would love to see your crooked grinds.
Introducing Braille Army Plus. Members get 10% off all skate gear, full access to the Braille Army Plus app, All skateboarding made simple volumes. Exclusive videos not shown anywhere else. Early access to all limited product drops. Access to our members-only Discord, where Aaron and the team can chat with you and answer your questions.
There are some videos right there. Subscribe, like, leave a comment below. Let us know what cool, crazy things you want us to do here at Braille. And we want you to learn how to skateboard. We have everything you need at brailleskateboarding.com.